Good evening, Simon here, Explosive Action, and I am back with my end of 2021 metal roundup. We're going to go through my favourite releases of the year. Let's get cracking. In the background we are listening to one of my favourite releases of 2018. This is Ectoplasma, Greek band. This is Cavern of Foul Unbeings. Solid, straight ahead, meaty death metal. Bit like Benediction. Just headbang to it. This is just solid meat potatoes death metal. Love it. They got a new album coming out 2022. Will it make the end of next year's list? Time will tell. So I'm going to break this up into a few sections. We're going to start with my favourite reissues. Then we're going to look at my favourite EPs of the year. Then we're going to go look at my top 21 of 2021 full-length albums. There's a few full-length albums that I can't talk about because I didn't receive them yet. I haven't been able to get them. These include the new Conjureth. Haven't even heard a note from it. LP is delayed. CD, very hard to get in Australia, so it hasn't happened yet. The new Lamp of Murmur, I was really waiting for the LP for that one, so haven't listened to that one at all. The new Fulci album, it's kind of hard to get stuff from FKR. It takes like 3 months. Hasn't happened. The new Galvanizer, just waiting for that CD to show up. The Mar Cognitium, good band, but I didn't get to their new one in time. Have to get to that. Even the new Panopticon, very hard to get their stuff out here. Only a couple of their CDs made it onto Amazon, and the new album, I can't find any edition of it in Australia. And importing from the US can be a bit hard if I can't go through my usual courier type options at this point. And the new War Moon Lord, which I have listened to, and it is fantastic, but I don't have a physical copy. It doesn't come out on LP until January. I pre-ordered it, but it's not going to make it in. So we're going to start with my favourite reissues. So this is stuff that is old releases that has had a new LP. I tend to not buy reissues. I like to find the old school stuff, but you're going to understand why I picked these ones up. The first one, trigger warning, and I have shown these before. I've shown pretty much everything here before in the last year's worth of videos, so I'm going to keep everything as short as I possibly can. We've got Dead Infection with Start Human Slaughter and World Full of Remains, the two demos from 1992, I think they came out. This is on Underground Front Records. Had reissues in 2006, I think it was. Which was definitely in a time when I was not buying LPs. I think much of the world really was 2006. But absolutely fantastic, foundational Polish gore grind. My favourite stuff from the band, and I didn't even know these were coming on LP. Stoked that they came out. Got them. Very happy with these. The next one, this is one of those you can't get a copy of the original LP. It is impossible to get. Even the CDs were out of print. When I heard this was coming, I was very excited, and then I got very unexcited because you could only buy it from the label in Italy. They were only doing direct sales, so I had to pay a lot of money, and I bought 2 copies so I could try and sell one off and get my money back. And that succeeded, but it still cost a lot of money. The new reissue, Lord Weird Slowfare Traveller. Is it Slowfare? Is it like, or is it Slough Feg? Is it a hard G? To me, it looks like it should be something like Slough, something like that. Anyway, it's the reissue of Traveller, my favourite album by the band, absolutely astounding. I've not shown this on the channel yet. It is a really, really, really nice red LP, fantastic, and it's gatefold. So there you go, beautiful presentation. Like I said, you had to get it from the label, which is Dragonheart. They were not. I even asked them. Not doing any distribution at all whatsoever. You had to buy direct, so I did, and here it is. Go take a look. If you really want this, you might be able to get the black LP copy. Not sure. Drop Dragonheart a line. Good luck to you, sir. It's a great album. And the last reissue was one that I always wanted on LP. It had never been on LP ever. I mentioned this when I showed the original update for this, that it was one of the things I always wanted to get on vinyl. And it's Windir with Arntor. I also got the first album, which I can never pronounce, but the second album, Arntor, has always been my favourite. And we have a glorious Gatefold reissue, a bit pixelated, but you know, it was originally on CD only. This is through Season of Mist, and it's an outstanding sounding record. So I think they've reissued it a couple of times now, repressed it a few times. Season of Mist is keeping it going, I think. So get whatever copy you can. It's an excellent pressing. These are my favourite reissues of the year. Now we'll check out my favourite EPs, mini LPs, whatever you want to call them. Not actually any demos this year, I didn't include. Probably could have, but I just went straight with EPs, short length albums, some absolutely fantastic ones here. The first one, UK death metal band. Soak in this cover art. This is the EP from Coffin, Mulch. They would win album of the year purely on this cover art. I don't know who the guy is that did it, but it's outstanding. I absolutely love this artwork. Septic Funeral. It is 6 tracks. I've seen albums that are this long, but anyway, 6 tracks of just that new wave of old school British death metal. It's so good. Slimy and filthy. It's what you want. Autopsy kind of stuff. Fantastic. The next one is the CD EP from Fossilization, and it's He Whose Name Was Long Forgotten. I had to look that up because I forgot the title. Such a long title. This is fantastic. Swirling cacophony stuff. Oh, I love this so much. Came out on Everlasting Spew. Definitely great stuff coming out of that label. I only showed this one very recently, so I won't talk about it again. But Fossilization, very much looking forward to an album from these guys. Hopefully next year. Next one, I absolutely love this band. I bought the t-shirt, I got the previous EP. Perilaxe, Occlusion, Raytraces of Death. How can you not like 3D vector graphic themed death metal? What a strange sentence to even say, but it is so good. Raytraces of Death. Absolutely love this thing. 3 tracks, 2 on the A, 1 on the B. Fracturing the Veroni, incalculable thresholds, and geometric dismemberment. Geometric dismemberment. Look at this stuff. Full vector graphics. Absolutely love it. Nerd death metal. Fantastic. Australian band. So good. I bought the shirt, the cassette, the LP, Pustilence, with the birth of the beginning before the inception of the end. Absolutely one of my favourite EPs of the year. I've been absolutely pounding this thing. Whenever I buy a shirt, it means I love this. I really do. If I had to pick one EP of the year, I would probably pick this one, but I'm not going to do that to you. Pustilence, so good. These guys come out of Queensland. And the guys in the band are in various other bands as well, so not unknown people, but fantastic. Just straight ahead Aussie death metal. Love it. Pustilence. And the last one, the last EP that I'm going to take a look at is the self-titled debut from Turris Ebonea. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic stuff. It's from the guy behind Cosmic Putrefaction, so you know it's good. Fantastic guitar work. Incredibly atmospheric death metal. Also on Everlasting Spew. 2 tracks per side. You can get a CD, you can get a tape. Whatever you do, though, make sure you do get this Turris Ebonea EP, and I hope we see something full length next year. And I almost forgot the one cassette we're going to show. I would like to get an LP or CD from this as well, but this is Phantasmagore, what a great name, with Insurrection or Submission. It sounds like that cover. It is slimy, murky death metal. It's only 5 tracks? Yeah, it's 5 tracks on the tape, and totally recommended. Definitely pick this one up if you've not heard them. Phantasmagore, Insurrection or Submission. You see this pile here? This is not even the selection. This is the honourable mentions list. There are too many good releases this year. It truly is a golden age, particularly in death metal. There is so much good stuff that is coming out and that has come out this year. So this is the stuff that did not make my top 21, but I felt it was so strong, I really needed to mention it. The first one, new band, Anthropophagus. This is Death Fugu, and they just play murky, horrible death metal. Of course, not reinventing anything, but just absolutely fantastic stuff. Beautiful, slimy. It just says Death Fugu all through the CD cover. So good, so good. I had to also include, I know it made a lot of people's top 10 even, but the new Cerebral Rot didn't quite get there for me. It's an excellent album though, but look at it. absolutely disgraceful. Excretion of Mortality is the name of this thing. And I love how it's got the sort of calligraphy font across all of this hysterical comical gore. It's a fantastic album, and it's improvement, I think, as well over the previous album. So yeah, there you go. And it is, on 20 bucks spin. So check this one out. It's good stuff. Next one also nearly made it. I know it's going to make a lot of people's other lists as well. The, whoops, something dropping off the edge there. This is the new one from Dipigus, or is it Dipigus? I don't know. Is it a real word? I have no idea. Bushmeat. Again, a marked improvement of the previous album, which I loved, but this one I love even more. It's such a good album. And again, in that slimy, murky, horrible, autopsy-based filthiness. There's a track on here called Long Pig Feast. Cannibal music. Good stuff from Dipigus? I don't know. You guys tell me how you pronounce that band. This is one that I haven't heard many people talk about at all, and I really, really wanted to give another mention. This is Gallows. Really good black metal band with 66 black wings. It's just straight ahead, furious stuff. Fast ripping, nasty black metal. I'm not sure what this label is. Catafalque Records, limited to 250 copies. Not sure what other formats there are, or if you can still get this. It had a bit of a when it landed locally, one of the distros got copies in, and they went instantaneously. So people knew about this, and I didn't. So I just jumped in on that looks pretty good. I'll grab that. So glad that I did, because it is just killer, straightforward black metal, furious stuff. Gallows. Like to see what else they do next. We got Russian band Gozada with Morbid Despotic Ritual. This was a hard one to cull from the top 21. It was really hard to not have this one on the top list, because it is such a strong debut for these guys. The demo was fantastic. This just took what they learned there, continued on with it. Dark death metal. Lots of fast trem in this. It is a beautiful album. It's also very death doomy. It's just demented visions of infinite power. What a great song, and that's I got demented visions of infinite power when I was playing it. It is such a good album. Goes at a Morbid Despotic Ritual. Very hard to not include this one in the official list. This one, if I had more time with it, may have been included, but I literally got this 2 days ago. The new Hyperdontia. This is Hideous Entity. Fantastic artwork there from Ben Skidder. His signature is on there somewhere, but anyway. It's good. It is really good. It is the next pickup from Nexus of Teeth. It sounds like Hyperdontia. It's out of all the sort of Killtown, Copenhagen kind of bands. They've got the most straightforward sound. It has a lot of the most bounce and groove to it, and that's why I think I really like this one. So Hyperdontia, Hideous Entity, top quality stuff. This one as well. Oh man, so good. The new Lucifer with the Broken Seal. Much improved, I think, from Sun Eater. The only reason, and this is not a negative, it's just I had to exclude something. It didn't have that one hook song. The song Sun Eater itself blew me away. This album is excellent, but it doesn't have that one song that blows me away. That's the only reason it's not in the top list. It is still an essential album. Make sure you do pick it up on Dark Descent Records. Very hard to see, I think, because it's that matte finish on the cover. But yeah, if you like your death metal, satanic, dark, fast, evil, Lucifer with the Broken Seal, you should be buying it. The next one. This is it's an album. It's kind of a short one. You can almost put it in the EPs. Morbific with Ominous Seep of Putridity. Oh, look at that. This is a bit like the Anthropophagus. Never say that thing. In just its murky, dark death metal sound. So good. Yeah, a bit fast and a bit doomy, a bit everything. I know it's on a lot of people's official lists as well, but can't all be there. So Morbific, definitely check this one out. really hoping to see more from those guys really soon. This one was the big surprise for me. So good. This is a multi-fission with decomposition in the painful metamorphosis. Say that 10 times fast. Band out of China, playing very much Demolic worship, and so much so there's a cover of a Demolic song on here. Inherited Bow Levitation, reduced without any effort. Demolic cover, as it says. So good. It like, I can't even veer away from just saying that sounds like Demolic. It just does. Really good stuff. And out of China. Out of China. Check them out. Next one we got is Occult with Crepitation of Phlegathon. God, they're just trying to kill me with these names. Another one of the Justin Stubbs bands. This is very black death metal. It's got that gory, ugly sound, but it's almost bordering on bestial. It's a good Coffin in this thing. It is so good. And I love the artwork on it as well. Fantastic. And another Everlasting Spew release. Occult. The demo was great. I was very happy when they put this album out. So good stuff from those guys. Another one from Australia. This is Pestilential Shadows with Revenant. I'm not entirely sure if I showed this one or not. I probably did. I hope I did. These guys have been around for about 20 years. South Coast black metal. I think they're based in the South Coast. Anyway, this was again another hard one to not have in the top list. Their best work by far. I think this is the 5th or 6th album from these guys. Like I said, they've been around for a long time. And yeah, Revenant, absolutely their best one. I feel kind of sad that I can't include it, but you can't include everything. 6 tracks. And for you international viewers, which is the vast majority of everybody, if you don't know Pestilential Shadows, please make an effort to check these guys out. Australian metal represent. Awesome stuff. Revenant. The next one. Man, this is a great album. Ruins of Beverast with the Thule Grimoires. It is green, 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 and green. Big, heavy gatefold, my god. In green with poster and a booklet and 2 LPs and green. Is the LPs green? I don't remember if the LPs are green. The LPs are green. I'm not getting out because I'll drop everything anyway. Slight change for the Ruins in this one. I know some people were complaining about that. I thought it was an excellent change up. Has a bit of the little bit of typo, just a little bit of typo negative in there, particularly in some of the clean vocal passages. But it's nowhere near as pronounced as some people are saying, like, oh, they've turned into a goth rock band. No, they haven't. It's 98% Ruins of Beverast with just a little trickle of some, bit of typo, doom, bit of romantic sound going on. But otherwise, it is still the Ruins of Beverast. Fantastic album from them. The Full Grimoires. Check it out. This is still just I haven't even hit the top 20 yet. Anyway, next one is Sulphurous. Again, another one I've had not enough time with. Sort of some of the damn label on the top. That's how little time I've had with this one. But I know it's an excellent album. I've had 2 listens through, and I know it's an excellent album. I just need that more time to spend with it. The Black Mouth of the Sepulchre. Another Denmark, thick, horrible death metal band. Yeah, their previous album was also on Dark Descent. I think this one is. Yes, it is. I need to spend more time with it. It's got the art. The artwork here is from the guy that did the Nexus of Teeth cover, so that's why it's got the spiral. You can see that or not. The spirally. You can almost picture that there should be teeth there, but wrong band. So there you go, Sulphurous. And I think Sulphurous, all the bands get a bit confusing to me. Undergang, Phrenolith, Hyperdontia, there's a lot of member sharing going on there. I think Sulphurous is another one of those ones with members from Hyperdontia. So yeah, awesome album. Just need a bit more time with it, and this was a real surprise. This one, I think I tripped over it on Bandcamp or something. Fossilization with Abnegation Psalms. Really good debut here. One man, weird black death metal. I don't know what to call it. Let down a little by the production, but it's just the first album. It's one man. It's he's doing what he can. I think is what's going on here, but it is really solid stuff, very interesting, quite a lot of layers. You got to really dig a bit to get into this album, and it's limited press as a CDR on 100 copies. The guy did suggest that he was hoping to get a label to do a reissue, so hopefully that is the case, because I would love this on LP. Even just a pressed CD, I would prefer. Thos Alia with Abnegation Psalms, great stuff. And the last one on the didn't quite make it to the top 21, but still needs to be mentioned, and not enough people talk about this damn band. I know Lamp of Murmur is the great raw black metal band, but please do acknowledge Vampiric Rites, the eternal melancholy of the vampire. This is after many, many demos and EPs. This is the first full length. It is fantastic. He's the best produced of the raw black metal sound that he's had. Some of them are quite murky, some of them are incredibly raw. But just like Lamp, when he went to the proper album, improved it to be more digestible, but it is still incredibly raw black metal. So these guys are from Ecuador, and very much worth your time. If you do not know them, please do check them out. Vampiric Rites. We are on to the top 21. Now how I'm going to do this is two sections. The first section is from 21 through to 12, then we do 11 through to 2, and then my number 1. Now the two sections, the two groupings of 10 are in no order besides alphabetical. I was not going to try and order these all the way through. It's not going to happen. I never do that in the past. This is the first time I've done a video of my end of year list. I last year put them on Instagram. I usually just do it on my Facebook. I've never actually put it into a video before, but it's always been the same. It's just an alphabetical list of my favorites, and that's how we're going to do this one again. So with that out of the way, we take a look at the first band, starting with A, Apparition. So good. This is that incantation style death metal that you crave, that you just love, with a bunch of tomb mold as well. If we didn't have a tomb mold album this year, the last tomb mold album was a bit too polished for my taste. This is the kind of thing I would have preferred to have heard from those guys. Such a good debut, and as far as I'm concerned, came out of nowhere. I'm not entirely sure if there was a demo or not. We just bam, Apparition with the album Feel. Had to be included. I've been playing a lot of this. I love the artwork too. So good. And yeah, I don't think enough people have been talking about this particular album. So check out Apparition, Feel, quality death metal. The next one, this was I didn't even know this was coming. There's so much stuff this year I had no idea was coming. You usually get a bit of heads up. Something's coming. I had no idea this thing was coming. For the first time, we get Baxax Axa. I know, a silly name, but these guys have been around since like 1991. Give them a break. And this is their first album. They had a just amazing split with Ungod back in the 90s. Couple of things, demo here, EP there. Never done a full length. In 2021, we get their first full length of German, ancient sounding German black metal. This is the kind of band that Monin of Zebeth have based their sound off. Then the Masters have come out here with this just straight ahead, ancient sounding, almost sounds Greek in that I always get that impression of that, really basic, archaic black metal sound. It always makes me think of some of the early Greek bands. But it is very German, and it is very, very excellent. Baxax Axa, Catacomb Cult. Next one we got is Craven Idol, Forked Tongues. Oh man, this is the Destroyer 666 album we didn't get this year. That's not being kind, I suppose, because these guys have done 3 albums now and stand on their own 2 feet. But man, there's some riffs in here. Definitely sound very Australian. Absolutely fantastic album from Dark Descent too, and the beautiful artwork on this thing. Four-headed dragon coming out of the volcano. It is black thrash. It is incredibly black thrash. It has fantastic production. It has that weight to the whole thing, but the really thin guitar sound that just gives it a razor edge. So good. Craven Idol, Forked Tongues, and it's my favourite Craven Idol out of the 3 albums so far. They're just getting better each time. Quality black thrash. Next one we got to check out here is, I've not had a chance to show this on the channel yet. This is Dream Unending Oh man, this is good. This is Tide Turns Eternal. Another band that's just got a couple of other bands, in this case Two Mold and Innumerable Forms members, have got together and decided to do a early peaceful sounding Death Doom album. And it's fantastic. I don't think there was any demo or anything. They just put this thing out. It's on $20 spin. No LP yet. I think a lot of the $20 spin LPs are, coming later. It's the pressing plants. It's a bad time out there. But anyway, CD good. Happy with CD, Digipack CD. If you like your early peaceful bands, like I was saying, the Paradise Lost, My Dying Bride, that kind of thing, the early stuff, the first album, first EPs, you're gonna love this, and just polish that production a bit more. Really good stuff, very atmospheric. There's a lot of just chilled out bits as well. Absolutely love it. Dream Unending with Tide Turns Eternal. Don't be a CD snob, just go buy the thing. This one has had an LP, but I didn't know about that. This is Dungeon Serpent, World of Sorrows. The people in the know about this album. Definitely been one of those underground gems that has been talked about by the people that know what they're talking about. So good. I don't want to say melodic death metal to make you think, In Flames or anything like that. It's not. It's that intestine Baalism kind of melodic death metal, where it's death metal, just regular old death metal, but it happens to have some quite melodic parts to it. Not even the Dark Tranquility sound. It's like intestine Baalism. It is so good, man. And they're coming. I think they're from Canada. Yeah, Canadian. Which again is there's something in the water in Canada. So much good stuff coming out of that country. And here they are producing formerly Japanese sounding melodic death metal, but now out of Canada. Fantastic. Dungeon Serpent. I will probably try and find that LP edition if I can. Now we have Holder with, and I'm going to butcher this one, God Slattering, Hymn of a Forlorn Peasantry. This is one woman US black metal, and I got the demos 2 years ago now, I think is when the demos came out. Demos were good, demos were strong, demos were quite raw. That was that proper scenario of, wow, your demo is raw, and then the album comes along, not raw anymore. I was expecting this to be raw black metal, but no, that was just a case of production quality to this. This is, I don't want to say it sounds like a different band, but man, she's really refined her sound on this thing. Absolutely gorgeous sounding album. It's US, but sounds more Finnish and a bit of Greek as well. There's really nice keys in there. Just a bit of synth that's layered in there. It's got the early Emperor sound in there, early Satyricon sound in there. Such a good album. I thought it was gatefold for a second there, 'cause it's so thick. But anyway, I know a lot of people have talked about this Holder, so I don't need to say much more. If you like your black metal and you like it traditional sounding, check out Holder. Awesome. Next one we're going to take a look at is Malignant Altar. This one has only been in my hands for a short period of time, but I have been anticipating this for the whole damn year. I knew it was going to make this list because the EP from 2019, I think, was, if I had a car with a CD player, it would have always been getting played, put it that way. It is. Anyway, this is the new album, Realms of Exquisite Morbidity, and it says their debut full-length, dark US death metal, like your F, G, H albums from Morbid Angel, your Immolation. It's also, this is the thing I found very interesting. I was listening to it. There are parts of New York death metal here, like your Suffocation, but Suffocation playing to the old gods. Like, does that make any sense? It does feel at times like Suffocation are playing Morbid Angel covers. I don't know. It just feels like that sometimes. And the cover art's so good. Another one from Dark Descent. Like, we get to the last 2 weeks of the year, and all this Dark Descent goodness arrives, and a lot of it ends up in my end of year list, because As I said, I was anticipating this. Did not disappoint. Malignant Altar, Realms of Exquisite Morbidity. Next one, Mortiferum. Definitely going to appear on a lot of people's list. Mortiferum with Preserved in Torment. Their second album, so much better than the previous one. I love the previous album, but this is one of those scenarios now when I would find it an unlikely experience for me to be playing that first album now, because this second one is so good. I don't want to rule that out, but man, for the near future, I'm going to be playing this one. Absolutely, it is so good. Preserved in Torment. If you don't know these guys, it's the thick, doomy, but then also murky incantations sounding, dead congregations sounding. Wow, Mortiferum, but they get their own sound. They really do have their own sound now. Look at that mist, that fog with the guys in it. They're coming out and they sound like they've been swimming in this slimy fog. I'm going to stop making analogies. But anyway, you've got to check out the Mortiferum. It's going to appear in so many people's top 10 lists. It nearly did for me, but not this time. Just had to miss out. So good though. Mortiferum. This one came out earlier in the year, and I'm wondering if others are going to be including it. This is the one from, and I'm probably still going to get their band name wrong, Snet? Is it Snay? I don't know. It's S-N-E with a thing and T with a thing. I don't know. Snet. With the, oh god, Mokvani v. Okovec. I don't know. They're from Prague, and it sounds like Undergang. That's what you're going to get from me. It is so good. It is really good stuff. If you like those Killtown Denmark bands, you're going to like this one from Prague. So good. Look at them. That's all I'm going to say. And it's included in my bottom. I don't want to even say that. It's included in the 12 to 21 bracket. Snet. Fantastic. And the last one here in this bracket of 12 to 21 before we get to the top 11 is, and I have not heard anybody else talk about this one, Valna with Atropos, I think is how you say it, Atropos. This is a one-woman band again, this time playing black metal tinged funeral doom, really slow death doom. It's in the funeral style. It is a mesmerizing release. You can just sit back and let this one wash over you. She's got, it has that mix like Disembowelment do, where it's slow and pounding, and then blast beats, and then back to slow. But she adds in, clean singing, which she's incredibly good at. She's got harsh vocals as well. Lots of course, atmosphere from synth and choirs, and man, it's so good. I think she plays everything. There might have been session drums, but I could be wrong on that. She might be doing the drums. I don't recall. But there she is in the back. This is the second album from Valna, and I need to check out that first one now, because this is an absolute belter. We've reached the top 11. We're going to do albums 2 through 11 now. Again, not in any order besides alphabetical. So starting at the top, we have Antichrist Siege Machine. What a hilarious name. But Purifying Blade is anything but hilarious. This is US bestial black death metal. Not in your Revenge and Blasphemy. It's not that rough and raw. This is like Titan Blood, Profane Order, particularly Profane Order reminded me so much of that. There's the logo. Savage. It is short and savage, but because it's got that production of something like Titan Blood, it is heavy as hell. I've been playing this so many damn times, just a black LP. Don't think I've shown it in an update yet. Might have just missed it, but anyway. So good, and it was unexpected for me to include something like this. It's a short blast of bestial black death. I usually would not include something like this, but it has just grabbed me by the balls, this one. It is such a good album. Purifying Blade. If you don't normally listen to the more bestial stuff, the war metal stuff, I would still urge you to give this a go. If you like death metal and you like really harsh death metal, Give this one a go. Antichrist Siege Machine. Next one. This was a band that I had no idea even existed. A fairly new band, I guess. I saw one of my friends bought the CD. I said, what the hell is that? Next minute, I'm ordering the CD. Then a local distro gets the LP. Bang, I end up with both of them arrive within a day of each other. And it is so good. Decrepacy, Emetic Communion. Oh, man. US debut death metal band here. Thick and meaty, super killer riffs on this. Just outstanding. Oh, I have talked about this one before. It floored me. I listened to it digitally first, so you got the Bandcamp download of the CD. Absolutely melted my brain with how good this thing was. The LP, I did show it, but I'm going to show it again. I got very lucky to get the gold color edition. Sold out, unfortunately. I'm not entirely sure if there's blacks available anymore, but you can definitely get the CD. And the CD itself is kind of an improvement. It's got an extra track on the end. It's only a short outro, but you do get more material on the CD than you do on the LP, so that might sway you. But whatever you do make sure you buy a copy of this. Decrepacy Emetic Communion. Fantastic death metal. This one came out earlier in the year, and I think, as the tail half of the year had so many good releases, I think many people forgot that this came out in May. This is the new one from Ghastly, Mercurial Passages. I knew when I was listening to this back in May and June that there was a high probability it was going to stay in that top 10, and it's not shifted. This is a style of death metal that I really, really like. It's a warm sounding Finnish death metal, but it doesn't sound Finnish. It doesn't sound like Demigod. It sounds like Obliteration. Yeah, there's these bands that have that, just hit record and let you play the song. The drums are, so analog. It just sounds fresh. It really sounds fresh. It does not sound super rehearsed and doesn't sound processed whatsoever. That really works well for Ghastly, and it really works well for me. This is better than their previous album, I think, which was 2019, which was an excellent album. Maybe even 2018. I think it might have been 2018. I can't remember anymore, but this one here is their best work so far. Mercurial Passages. It sounds like they recorded it live. So good. Out on $20 spin. Don't forget that this thing came out. I know it was 7 months ago now, but please don't forget it. Ghastly with Mercurial Passages. Outstanding. This one, not entirely sure how many other people are going to include this, but I absolutely love this. Malum, bit reflective, don't know if you can see it. This is Devil's Creation, the 4th album from this band. Finnish black metal, straight in the ripping Sargeist, Behexen sound, Horner, all those bands. And for me, this is their best album so far. Their 3rd album, the third album was good, but it didn't grab me as much as the 2nd album. The 2nd album was fantastic, but this one, their 4th album, Devil's Creation, easily their best work. Absolutely fantastic. I love the classic, In the Night Side Eclipse kind of portrait thing. I love it when bands do this. It just screams black metal, and this thing screams black metal. Killer riffs, all the trem, lots of melody. Fantastic stuff from Malum, Devil's Creation. And this one was another one like the Malignant Altar that arrived recently, but when I knew it was coming, it was pretty clear that based on the previous album, high chance of it appearing in my list. I've had this for 2 days. Physically, I've had this for 2 days. I've played it 5 times. And there was no chance it was going to be included. The new Phrenolith with Chimera. I think it's Chimera. This is their 2nd full-length album. And it's again included in those bands from Denmark like Hyperdontia, Sulphurus, Undergang. Sharing some of the members of Hyperdontia, I believe. Sounds more like Spectral Voice. It's the dark, twisted cousin to Hyperdontia, where that's more the traditional death metal. This one is playing down-tuned but still trem riffs, but slower, and then when it gets fast, it's just a blizzard. It's so good. Phrenolith. Absolutely love this band. I love the previous album, but this one, it is Chimera. This one's out not on Dark Descent this time. It's on Nuclear Winter Records and comes highly recommended. And again, do not be a CD snob. The LP for this is not due to come out for another friggin' year. That is how backed up these things are. If you want to hear this album, you have to get the CD. Maybe there'll be a tape, I don't know, but don't be a CD snob. Phrenolith, outstanding album, Chimera. This is the oddball from me, but I gotta be true, I have been playing the absolute hell out of this album. I had it digitally for ages. I was waiting for a LP copy to land in the country. They got delayed. And it is not what you're about to expect. Anyway, this is a new one from Poppy with the album Flux. She is an ever-changing genre musician. I admit that the early stuff was not for me whatsoever. That was not for me. That was, dream pop, electro stuff. Not my wheelhouse. But then she did an album called I Disagree that was this very interesting metalcore kind of thing. Very bouncy, but very catchy songs. And it surprised me how much I liked it. I kept playing songs on YouTube until I ended up buying the album. And I got quite fascinated with just her as a person. She's very interesting. And then she did the Eat EP, which was pushing the boundaries. One of the tracks was bordering on deathcore. It was very, I don't know where she was going. And, she just sings and occasionally screams, right? She played at the Grammys, right? Same Grammys that, Billie Eilish played at. On the other stage, Poppy's up there doing this thing that sounds like Dillinger Escape Plan. It was absolutely mental. So I figured this might be the next addition to that. Nope, she changed again. This album is more like 90s sort of girl rock, like, No Doubt, Gwen Stefani kind of stuff, but with miscellaneous blast beats for no apparent reason, just chucked in there, and plenty of screaming stuff. And I don't know, I know I'm probably talking to about two people at the moment, but she's really interesting, and I really, really love this album. There's some extra on the back. Such a interesting artist on this trajectory that she's going. Who knows if I'm going to be on board for it all the time, but yeah, I can get down with 90s rock, alt rock sounding Poppy. And it's got that aggression though. Like, it does have this, every now and then, some Dillinger Escape Plan kind of just little licks and drum beats, and then she does this dream pop singing, and then miscellaneous blasts. It is odd. It is odd. Poppy, Flux. She's in Flux. Changing it up yet again. This is going in so many people's lists. Spectral Wound, A Diabolic Thirst, Canadian black metal that wishes it was finished. So good. Way better than the previous album. The previous album was great, but this one is immense. It is so memorable. The track Frigid and Spellbound is a sing-along chorus. So good. For me, the production works really well. It's quite layered, and the vocals have got like a reverb to them. I think I mentioned in my original video on this. But for me, it's so good. I absolutely love this album. Absolute black metal highlight of the year. Furious, really furious, but lots of melody, lots of good hooks. Spectral Wound, A Diabolic Thirst. He looks like he really wants that drink. This one I haven't had a chance to show in a video yet. It came in about a week ago. And along with that Phrenolith, I have been playing this to absolute death, and I was so lucky. I realised how lucky I was to actually get this. The new one from Stormkeep, Tales of Other Time. Get on board the hype train, man, because it is worth it this time. We're going to Hype Central, but the destination is a good one. US black metal. It's that medieval melodic black metal kind of thing. Think your early 90s, your mid 90s stuff like Troll, Covenant, even, bit of Emperor. That's where you're sort of going with Stormkeep. The EP from last year was a good EP. It was a strong EP, but this album, it's such a next level jump from that EP. They really found their footing on this. I think they've found an identity. And I'll do a quick show and tell because I haven't been able to show it yet. Slipcover version. Kinda hard to get out. Yeah, come on, there we go. So slipcover version, which you can see the album comes out through there, which is very impressive. There's the wonderful artwork. Fantastic. It has a poster and a download card thingy. The thing that made me go, wow, this is a deluxe edition. How ridiculous is this? Okay, we get the booklet. Booklet's great. Not unusual to get the booklet, you know. Very much knights in shining armour. But how often do you get a black metal CD or LP that comes with a map? This is the map to Elder, which is presumably, because I've not looked into the lyrics too much, presumably the lands that are sung about in the album. I think that's ridiculous and just a next level awesomeness. The LP itself was just the black, and yeah, but I'm not really here to do a show and tell, even though I just did. I'm here to talk about the quality of this album and Stormkeep, Tales of Other Time. Even if you heard the EP and you went, oh, that's fairly generic, which I disagree with because I thought the EP was great, do check out the album. This is essential stuff. Fantastic US black metal, Stormkeep. Remember when I said that if the album is so good, I will buy the shirt? I did. This is the fantastic Universally Estranged with Reared Up in Spectral Predation. If you like Time Ghoul and slightly weirdo death metal, avant-garde death metal, get on board this, please. This came out on Blood Harvest. I did not know what to expect. I think it's one man. Definitely one guy there. It was one of those ones where I heard a sample and I thought, that sounds cool, I get it. Then you listen to it and go, that sample didn't tell me squat. This is such a strange album. At its core, it is death metal, but it's got it's got, you know, some dark wave stuff in it, you know, some synth wave kind of things, and the time signatures are all over the place. I love it. I absolutely love this album. It's, you know, a bit of Blood and Incantation, of course, with the space theme and a bit of the sound, but yeah, you like Time Ghoul, you're rooted in that Time Ghoul sound, you're going to like Universally Estranged, Reared Up in Spectral Predation. Fantastic album. And of course, I mean, we're at the end of the alphabet here before we get to our number one, which I'll do separately, but I was not going to be able to escape this list without including Worm, Foreverglade. Yes, again, I know a lot of talking about this. It is entirely justified as far as I'm concerned. This is such a good death doom, sometimes funeral doom, but what it is booming, absolutely monumental production on this. It is the heaviest thing I've heard in ages. My speakers rattle when the kick drums go on this thing. It's so big. Reminds me of, like, you know, Inverloch production or Cruciform production. It is, anyway, it's impressive. Foreverglade, yeah, if you like, you know, unholy and disembowelment, black metal with keys, atmosphere, all that kind of stuff, you would like this album. You would love this album, Foreverglade. Gloomlord, the album that came out last year or year before, was a really good album, featured in a lot of people's lists as well. But this one, Phantom Slaughter, the main dude behind this band, he does have session drums, and I think some helpers and other things, some solos, guest soloists. But he's the main, obviously, musician and does the main guitars and that kind of thing. He's put together an absolute love letter to the past, to those older bands like, you know, Unholy and that I mentioned, and the Peaceville bands and things like that. But he's really melded it all together, added some sort of black metal bits to it, and it is its own thing. It is Worm, and it is so good. I love that artwork as well. Worm, Foreverglade. very much deserving of a lot of people's number ones, but I've got another thing coming. At last we've arrived at number one. Everything else I've shown you has been groups of 2 through to 11 and then 12 through to 21. So I'm doing 21 for 2021. And they were in alphabetical order, but there was one album that was the winner. Every time I do this, last year, year before, there is always the one album that is the best album for me for the year. For me, this year, my favourite album is Nazul with Okala. This came out midway through the year, I think, from memory. Nazul is a very special band for me. I could go into the backstory, but you know, these guys have been around in various forms. The members change, but the main musicians responsible for the main core of the music have not changed. They are a Sydney black metal band, and the Black Seed EP, which came out in 1999, had a huge impact on me and the music journey I was then going to go on. Absolutely huge journey. And really, these guys don't do many releases. They did that Black Seed EP. Might have been a single or something. There was a live album in there. Then there was the 2010 album Iconoclast, which was a fantastic album again. They really do this. I don't want to say it's atmospheric black metal. It's regular, fast, usually black metal, but it is just oozing and dripping in atmosphere. The whole thing. It is very lush and has like, it feels like you're playing black metal in a forest is what you do. But anyway, this came relatively unknown to me. This was coming out. There was a bit of a tease from the label Seance Records that there was Nazul something coming, and it showed the new logo, which is not new. It is in fact a demo logo, but they reborn it. Anyway, it's very late. I'm so tired. It was reborn for this album, and I think this logo is far more representative of the black metal that they play than the previous one, which I'll show here. That's what the old logo used to be. This makes more sense for these guys. Anyway, you've even got the artwork here. Where's the logo? The Moyen signature there. You know, Beherit and all the other good bands did the artwork for this one. But anyway, truly the masters of Australian occult satanic black metal. It is a wall of darkness in 4 tracks, twisted, fairly snarly and kind of scary vocals, buried underneath layers of guitars, keys, frenetic drums. They've always been a hugely important band for me, but I would go out on a limb and say, for as far as I'm concerned, one of the best extreme bands to come out of Sydney, and one of the bands that we need to, the international scene need to just appreciate more. Most people I talk to and I say Nazul, they go, Totem, I remember Totem. That crap was 25 years ago. But Carla is the new album. You do need to listen to this. It is my number one. It's my number one album of the year, and I don't think enough people have been listening to it. The LP, okay, granted, you can't get that. It's sold out. The CDs are plenty. You can get the CDs. It's very easy to get the CDs. Even if you're a digital-only person, get the digital. Get something. Get a Carla. This is an amazing black metal release, and it was clear to me when I first heard it, it would be unlikely that it would not be my top album of the year, and it didn't change. Here we are. It is 4 tracks, 3 of them are incredibly long. They're like 8, 9, 10-minute tracks. Big, long, black metal songs on a journey, and yeah, Okala. I will stop rambling, and that's where I will leave this. That is my number one album of the year, an incredibly strong year for metal. This video is going to be a lot longer than I was expecting, and I've tried to keep it short. But there you go. Please, please do let me know, what did you like this year? What did I miss? There's stuff that I missed. The new Carcass album, it's okay, which is hurting. I mean, I would like to say it was great. Surgical Steel was great. The new album, it's fine. and I need more than a fine Carcass album to make it onto my list. The new Fear Factory. I like Fear Factory. Genexus was great. This one, it's okay. I need more than okay. So, what did you like this year? What other things did you include in your list? I want to know, what are your top albums this year? Your top EPs? Your favourite reissues? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, check out this thing and that thing, whatever they may be, and I will see you next year.